Dr. Pan, if you'd like to come up and present AB 2058, please.
Yes. Thank you. Well, Mr. Chair, members, I wish to present to you Assembly Bill 2058, a measure that takes a step forward in stopping voter registration fraud in California by eliminating per affidavit payments. I'm proud to have Senator Correa as a principal co-author on this important legislation. Specifically, AB 2058 prohibit any person, company, or other organization from agreeing to pay money or other valuable consideration on a per affidavit basis to any person who assists another person to register to vote by receiving the completed affidavit of registration. By eliminating per affidavit payment, we'll eliminate incentive to forge affidavits while protecting the integrity of our voters. This will reduce the volume of voter cards that are invalid due to fraud, thereby reducing the amount of staff time that county registrars need to spend validating them. Decreasing the backlog and strain on county registrars can save significant resources for county governments that are struggling in our difficult budget climate. According to Secretary of State's Election Fraud Investigating Unit, between 1994 and 2010, the EFIU opened 960 cases for fraudulent voter registration or fraudulent altering party affiliation on voter registration cards. Most recently, in my district here in Sacramento County, the registrar reported that 25% of the 31,000 cards submitted by Momentum Political Services, a company that paid $5 per Republican registered, have been rejected for inaccuracies. At least 11 states have laws prohibiting payments for registering voters based on the number of registrations obtained. Joining me today to speak in support of the bill are Sacramento County's Registrar of Voters, Jill Levine, Ms. Louise Ruiz, and Mr. Richard Brown, both of who have been victims of voter fraud and who can tell their personal stories. I wish to present my witnesses.
Thank you. My name is Jill Levine. I am the Registrar of Voters of Sacramento County, and I'm also representing the California Association of Clerk and Election Officials. And as Dr. Pan has said, this has been a real problem here in Sacramento County. One of the paid petition gatherers and paid signature gatherers was bringing in a lot of cards that were not complete. So we started keeping some stats. And from September to April, 24% of those could not even be entered into our system because we just, looking at them, they were incomplete cards. They were streets that didn't exist, numbers that were transposed. We even had 14 cards that were turned in that had the exact same last four digits as the Social Security number. So red flags, of course, go up. That's the first pass. The second pass, of course, is those that actually make it into the entering in the system. And after we enter them, we send out a notification card saying, you know, congratulations, you're a voter, and please verify this information. At this point, from this one organization, we sent out 84 of those registration, to verify these registrations. 80 of them came back as undeliverable. So these people did not exist, and did not exist at least at that address. This takes a lot of staff time, follow-up, research, and it tumbles down, of course, into also petition checking. Any signatures on a petition may be invalid. It affects the number of ballots that we order for each election, the number of ballot packets that are sent out. And for this past election, we had 10,600 ballot packets returned as undeliverable. And we thought we had a pretty clean file at that time. So while we're not opposed to encouraging people to vote, we encourage them, to do it correctly. Voter registration cards are available at DMV, libraries, fire station, outreach events, post offices, Health and Human Service office. A phone call to our office will get you a voter registration card, and no postage is required to return it. And before November, their Secretary of State will have voter registration online. Thank you.
Thank you. Others in support.
Good morning. My name is Luz Elena Ruiz. I am here to tell you what happened to me the summer of 2010. I went shopping and there was a man in front of the store who was getting signatures for something. I cannot remember exactly for what. On my way out of the store, the man asked me if I was a registered voter and could I sign the petition. I never signed petitions or stopped to talk to those people, but this one time I did. I think it was for the kids or something. So I signed the paper and went home. I had forgotten about the man and what I signed that day. But then, weeks later, I received a postcard from the Secretary of State. I didn't understand what it told me or what it was asking me to do, so I showed it to my daughter, Brenda Ruiz, who is here with me today. She read it and said, "Mom, you switched to the Republican Party. This card is confirming that you fill out a voter registration card and change your party." I immediately remembered the man in front of the store. I realized he got me to sign something that was not the truth. We called to the Sacramento County Register and told them that I did not switch party. They kept me on hold for a little while and said, "Yes, you did." I said, "No, I did not." They said, "We have your registration form with a matching original signature to the one we have on file. You switch party." We request a new form and I fill a complaint form. The registrar also sent me a photocopy of the registration card with my signature on it. The address was my handwriting, but the rest of the form was not. I was shocked. I am a Democrat and always vote Democrat. I vote in person every time. I am very good about my change of address when I move. It was not my intention to fill out a voter registration card that afternoon. Over the next few weeks, after I start to receive phone calls from a political party I do not support and from organizations asking for money for things I do not believe in. My daughter finally cussed out the lady when the NRA called and told her there was fraud and to remove us from the list. I will never sign another petition again. I am glad I showed the postcard to my daughter instead of just throwing it in the garbage, like I do with all the junk mail I get around election time. The man probably got signed many cards that day in front of the store, and I hope those people caught the mistake too. Please support AB 2058.
Thank you very much. And next.
I, Richard Lewis Brown, am a victim of voter fraud concerning the Republican Party. On March 27, 2012, I was approached by a young woman at 8th and K Streets in downtown Sacramento. At the time, I signed between 8 and 10 petitions, as well as a voter registration form. This young woman placed an X on the spaces that I needed to fill out, as she was in an extreme rush to get my signature. I obliged since she seemed nice and I strongly believe in voting. After signing my name, she informed me that I would be getting a voter registration card in the mail at my new address and quickly rushed away. I received my new voter registration card on April 20th, 2012, but it indicated that I was a Republican. I have always been a registered Democrat, and I did not check the box for my political party because I was rushed and it was not among the boxes marked with an X. The next day, I called the voter and elections registration and informed the representative of this situation. The representative stated there was a problem with fraud that had been occurring in which voters were being registered incorrectly as Republicans. I was sent a new voter's registration, which I received on April 24th, 2012. Along with the new voter registration, I also received a letter requesting that I verify that I had been a victim of voter fraud from the voter registration and elections for the county of Sacramento. The letter required me to complete a section stating that I signed the original voter registration form, but did not check the Republican Party box. I received the corrected voter registration card on May 10th, 2012, which identified my political party affiliation as Democrat. I was able to successfully vote in the June primary election via vote by mail. I strongly feel that measures must be taken immediately to address this issue. If I had been less aware, then I may not have caught this fraudulent action. Rather than assume the party to which I belonged the young woman or the organization she represented could have simply used my address or phone number to verify my affiliation. It is unacceptable for this type of dishonest practice to continue, and it is imperative that we institute voter ballot transparency. Organizers who falsely represent the public are a threat to our democratic system, and we should be subject to some form of penalty. Thank you.
Is there a penalty in here?
Thank you very much. Are there other witnesses in support? Are there witnesses in opposition to the bill? If you could make room for them at the table.